Well, I haven't looked at this since I got it, so I did look at it and think, I think I can do this solo. Because there are prompts, you know? It's something you can do solo. But I guess we'll find out, right? If it can be done or not. And if push comes to shove, we can always create extra characters to work at the tavern. They can come, they can go, or whatever it is. I should probably start with the introduction. Hi, I'm Zero, and this is my Twitch stream, Zero RPG, because I'm Zero and I like to do role-playing game stuff, usually with a group of people, but sometimes, and hopefully a bit more often, just by my old little lonesome in the audience. So I'm starting to get into solo RPGs, and you know, they're actually quite interesting. I find it's much easier for me to do in front of a camera with other people there to interact with. I still can't play on my own. We're going to be playing Stewpot. It was created by Takuma Okada and published by Evil Hat. Available from Drive-Thru. If you want to get your hands on that and follow along, it also includes there's also a bundle there where you can get the Roll20 add-on. So I believe TK said that she's following along at home with her Roll20. And there's a lot of form-fillable PDFs I got my hands on as well. So I have got like 11 billion PDFs open at the moment on this computer. My little laptop, I hope it can handle it. I guess we'll find out. If I stop dropping frames and whatever, you'll probably notice. Yep, TK confirms that she is following along at home. Like I said earlier, I haven't read it since I originally got it and went, hey, I can do this solo, so we're gonna have to all learn together. I'm gonna have to read it all out. But basically what it is Tales from a Fantasy Tavern, where you play. It's kind of like what happens after your fantasy heroes decide to hang up their adventuring gear, what they do when they either retire or are forced to retire early, or, you know, how do you go from that life of epic, exhilarating, hard slog of an adventure and settle down in some small town somewhere and start a tavern? Well, that's what they assume you do here. One option is to start a tavern. So I guess that's what we'll be doing. Let's scroll up and see what we have to see. Now, look here. It says it's a heaven simulation role-playing game for 3+ players. We have at least 2-3 people in the audience right now, and me, so technically that's enough people. Anyway, the artwork in here is gorgeous. Look at this. Dragon. We probably don't have to go through safety rules, since it's just me. Although, will you guys want to go through safety rules because it is me? We'll see. Anyway, yeah, it's all beautifully laid out. Nice color. So sweet. Oh, and they included some actual recipes. But yeah, let's see this. Introduction. This is basically a little blurby thing there about an adventurer who ends up giving it up. Yeah, so it's basically a whole lot of little slice of life scenes that we will be acting out or writing out once we've set up the characters and the tavern and everything like that. There's a lot of prompts to get us going, and mini games, that kind of thing, and some very simple roles. And sometimes the rules change with each little mini game. So we've got the tavern and character sheets, or the form fillable PDFs that I've got. Writing utensils, well, I've got a Google Docs ready just in case. One almost 6-sided dice. I got my dino dice. A deck of cards. I do have that. These guys. They're here just in case. I've also got 3 packs of tarot. I don't have a coin. Trugs. Just tapping on the wall to get my hubby assistant to help me there. And you can download the character and tavern sheets. Hey, so you guys can just download them off Evil Hat for free by the looks of it if you want to create your own, guys. No, there's a 50-cent coin trucks on the table from when I scratched those scratchies. Could you go get that for me, please? Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. See, look at these pretty little characters. Oh. Trugs I thought you were going to give me one of your fuck you coins. Trugs has some fuck you coins. But he's given me the, a really hefty one, the coin that he got from when he crowdfunded, what was it, Get Lamp? Yeah? I think it was crowdfunding. You bought it? Oh, okay. Well, I thought they were giving them away. Anyway, so we've got a hefty coin. I don't know if you heard that. But that was the coin. Hefting. Ooh, we could have a tavern on top of a giant turtle! Look at that. Okay, so I guess we start with our tavern. Why are you always sketching in that journal? It's inspiration. I wouldn't expect you to get it. Rude? For what? That's a table. Yeah, and it's a really sturdy and the colourful. The colour of the stain is nice and calming, and it's octagonal, but the corners are rounded off, so no one gets hurt when they get thrown into it. Well, not hurt badly at least. Hopefully. You're still setting that tavern thing, huh? You said you'd help. I did. I will. Promise. Okay. So Sorry. Your tavern and the area around it are the cornerstones of your game. Your adventurers will be living and working here, and they'll take time off and join festivals and other events in town. Work together to create a place you're excited to play in. Location. Do you want to compete with other taverns in a bustling city, or do you want to be a little shop in the wilderness, the only place to stay in a small town? As a group, decide the size and scale of your town or city. Then each player provides one detail about the city or surrounding area. So there's an examples of city, which is canals instead of streets, connected tree houses, floating in water or air, ancient and crumbling, carved into a cliff, crisscrossing bridges over deep canyons, beautiful stained glass windows, old brick buildings, giant murals, flowers covering the walls of buildings. Huh. Okay, so we've got to pick a location first. Let me pull up the information for the tavern. So we have our tavern sheet for... We've got to come up with a name for it and also a location. I believe that is what it said. Just quickly looking... we'll start out with where exactly it is set, the location-wise. Are we going for a city? Are we going for the middle of nowhere? You know, like the adventurers or travelers are just like, oh, they've got caught out in the wind or something. I have way more stuff than you do. Well, I've TK, I backed it on the crowdfunding, so I got given everything. Yeah. So wilderness tavern. Yeah, what kind of wilderness? So JR, are we talking there like, is it in the middle of a forest or a jungle or a desert or the Arctic or what? Not the Arctic, they might not have an Arctic. In the middle of a snowy area. Was it surrounded by tussocks and mountains and it's the only thing in sight? Like, example of that would be Waiouru in New Zealand. But, you guys probably aren't familiar with that. It's an area around some of our most volcanic of volcanoes. A black oak savanna near a deep and mysterious lake. Ooh. Okay. So we're going for a wilderness. I cannot spell. Wilderness. Too many E's. Black oak Savannah. Near a deep and mysterious lake. Does the lake have a name? Does the Black Oak Savannah have a name, or do they just call it Black Oak Savannah? I was so looking forward to an RC Cola when I sat down. Yeah, but then I realized, no, I don't have any RC Cola left. There's only Coke from a big plastic bottle. Not the best Coke. Does anyone else, TK, do you have any other suggestions there about the location itself? Either about the lake or the savannah or, I guess, they've also got examples of the environment here, like deserts littered with enormous bones, underground tunnels illuminated by glowing stones, low sloping mountains, humid snowbanks and frozen lakes, towering trees, megafauna, a coastline of floating rock. Oh my god, you could totally set this in a dungeon. Your tavern in a dungeon! Lakeside Tavern sounds nice. Okay, so we've got the mysterious lake. So in the wilderness. And we'll make the thing itself lakeside. Megafauna. Dire sturgeons in the lake. Dire sturgeons? Oh my god. So they're known for their lake fish dishes. Dire sturgeons. The lake. Okay. So that's what they're known for. Is the area. I'm not going for megafauna. We've got a wilderness. We've got Black Oak Savannah. So it's a savannah with black oaks is what I'm thinking you're meaning here. And we're lakeside at this mysterious lake. I'm going to say that it's black. The water is black. Everything is black here. It is, yeah. Everything black. Trees are black. The dirt is black. The water is black. Is the building black? Everything black. Means diet caviar. Ooh. Okay, so let's jump back to the look. What does your tavern look like? Be as general or as specific as you like. What interests you the most about a building? What draws your eye? Examples: dark grey stone blocks, ice palace, reclaimed materials, boat. Oh, it could be a boat on the lake and surrounded by a black savannah. Just an idea. Mossy walls, wrought iron, flowering vines, a unique weather vane, delicately carved sandstone. So, what does our tavern itself look like? We've just explained what the area around it is, but we need to now, think about the building itself. What kind of structure it is? What is it made from? Does it look like a building? Does it look like a boat? Does it look like a giant humongous giant dire sturgeon? Is it made from a giant skull of some kind of titan creature? Abandoned stone and timber fort that we've repurposed. That sounds pretty good. I hope we have ghosts. Fort that we've repurposed. Anything else about it? Like what's maybe on the interior of it, or what kind of decor do we have? That kind of thing. I guess we can get on how fancy it looks a bit later, because that's one of the options in terms of the tavern's rating and the atmosphere. So we'll just stick with the exterior for now. So is there anything else about the exterior that we need? Is it facing a certain direction? Is it Is it pretty tall? Is it low built? Is some of it sunken underground? Like, is there a basement kind of thing? Is it a certain color? Is it also black? You want sawdust on the floor, rustic tables and chairs? Yeah, sure. We can have that. Just see if there's an atmosphere down the bottom there. But we can put in sawdust. Dust on floors, rustic tables and chairs. Okay, because we're just using, and it's all black unless it's been painted, because I assume we'll be using the black oak from the savanna around us. Let's go back to the thingy. We need a name. Don't spend too long on this one. Feel free to come back to it if you're stuck. And remember, you can always change it if you come up with a new name during play. You can also come up with a symbol or emblem to go with the name. A chipped paint sign outside really completes the look. There's some examples here. The Old Bell Tavern, the Rose Without Thorns, the Greasy Snifter, the Boar Hat, Fortune's Rest, and Fair Weathers. And in the little artwork here, which is adorable, it said Steady Stuffing. Okay, what have you guys said? JR says, no basement, black and tan stone, crumbling lighthouse set high on a bluff with a colony of intelligent baying swallows dwelling above. This lake is huge! That's all I can say. It's huge. Okay. Lighthouse. Hang on, is it part of the lighthouse? Is the lighthouse part of it as well? Crumbling lighthouse. Okay. On a bluff. Okay. So we're not lakeside anymore. We're kind of high up. Lighthouse Tavern is good. Okay, so it was used as a lighthouse, and now it's not Boozer's Light. Oh, that's a good name. Are we in agreement? I'll put it up there unless I hear something better. So I take it we're serving a lot of alcohol here. Alright. So Boozer's Light. Yep, good TK download to keep up. Back to the instructions. Tavern ratings. Okay. Your tavern becomes larger and more well known as you improve its tavern ratings. These ratings determine the quality of different aspects of your tavern, as well as the dice you roll in certain games. You start with 1 point in each rating. So for cuisine, your cuisine rating determines your tavern's ability to make food. It includes your skill at cooking food, food storage, relationships with suppliers, and more. So we start out with a cramped kitchen, plenty of staples, but nothing fancy. And of course those dire sturgeons from the lake, with the dire caviar. So I guess the dire caviar is the only fancy thing we currently have. Or you have no way of... I'm sure adventurers would know how to get fish eggs out of a... sturgeon eggs out of a sturgeon, right? I don't know. Anyway, so as we level up, we get a modest kitchen, we get new friends at the market. Oh god, where's the nearest market? Is there a town nearby? A bustling kitchen, brand new cookware, a well-stocked spice cabinet, good deals on ingredients, a splendid kitchen, and fresh deliveries. Woohoo! Okay, so it's already marked off on the PDF, so I won't worry about that at the moment. But we go with atmosphere. Your atmosphere rating determines the experience patrons have at your tavern. The smells, oh dear. The decorations and the chatter of folks eating at tables around you are all part of the atmosphere. The higher your rating gets, the more comfortable the tavern becomes. A higher rating may also mean offering more unique experiences not found at other taverns. Level 1 is what we start off at, is comfortable enough but a little boring. Things feel slightly off. 2, A little plain but homey. Not a bad place to get a good night's sleep. Level 3, furniture and decorations that highlight the area. Lots of personal touches. It's really starting to come together. And the highest rating is the comfiest beds you've ever slept in. Lots of light and good company. Adventurers seek you out after long journeys. Alright, so that's already marked off too. And then there's service. Your service rating is a measure of how well your tavern operates. Is the food getting out quickly into the right tables? Are the beds clean and comfy? Your service rating also determines the caliber and amount of people you can afford to hire. Every time you gain a point in your service rating, you create a new NPC employee as one of your many new hires. Come up with one or use one of the examples listed. So we start with a former farmhand or an injured local guard. Is that right? We pick one or the other? Or do we get two? What did it say? Come up with or use one of the examples listed. Okay, so we get some rando to help for our first NPC. Should we create our NPCs now? We need to create our characters first too. Anyway, we'll just go quickly through tavern advancement. Your tavern starts off small and kind of shabby, but with hard work and more than a little luck, you hope to become a home away from home for all adventurers passing through. As you play mini-games, time passes. Your characters become better at running the tavern, and word spreads. After every third mini-game, take a break to check in, then play Wear and Tear to increase one of your tavern ratings by 1, up to a maximum of 4. Okay. You can also choose to play Wear and Tear on your turn to increase the tavern rating by 1. This resets the timer to play Wear and Tear every 3 minigames. Alright. You can also increase the tavern rating instantly by succeeding in the Festival Day or a Distinguished Guest minigames. This does not reset the timer to play Wear and Tear. Okay. If you play Homegrown, your cuisine rating gains a bonus point during your next playthrough of Wear and Tear. Each time the tavern rating increases, each player may describe a new detail or feature in the tavern. Interesting. Look at the gnomes! The little bunny. Okay, now we get to create our characters. It says autumn leaves and rusted blade, dented shields and flickering flame. Warrior, what is your fate? Tattered robes and crumbling stone, ragged breath and broken bow. Warrior, where will you go? Aching scars and restless nights, the cold inside your bones. Hands so skilled at taking life must learn to help it grow. Alright, now we get to make a character. Your characters are the heart of your tavern. You keep the kitchen running, the fires roaring, the beds made, and the tables clean. To make your character, you need a few key things. A name, a look, weapon, armor, and quirk, an adventurer job, and 3 adventure experiences, and a town job. As you play, you'll also write down keepsakes. Okay. Alright, where is the character sheet? So as we go through, so name, your character's name can be given, chosen, or something else. In addition to your character's true name, some characters might have a nickname that their co-workers and regulars use instead. Look, your look can look like anything, but their clothes, the things they carry, and how they move through the world reveals their past. What parts of being an adventurer still show, and what have they worked to change? Come up with your own details, or choose one weapon, armor, and quirk from the table. Okay, I'll bring the table back. There is a long table. I think we need to decide what kind of character we want. What kind of adventurer were they? And then insert them into this game. What do you guys reckon? I was thinking of creating maybe 2 characters. One main one and one kind of sidekick character. So we can do, the main one could be a bit more serious, maybe traumatized, or they could be like the edgelord character, but not quite edgelord because they've obviously had a whole lifetime of adventuring and they've been adventuring with other people, so they're a bit of a blunted edgelord, maybe an edgelord with a heart kind of thing, or they've lost everyone and they're totally traumatized, that kind of thing. And the sidekick could be the plucky comic relief. Or, alternatively, the main character could be like the not that bright Goliath who cast iron with a frying pan. And the sidekick could be a bit of comic relief, but that comic relief could be hiding a more traumatic adventuring past kind of thing. So yeah, kind of two opposites would be good here. JR says big burly standard warrior type and his Twinky bad boyfriend. Okay. Do we want to start them off in a relationship? Because there is one of the mini games you could couple up with someone, essentially. Yeah. TK says, my sample quick start has Nereza the Swashbuckler. Oh, interesting. Anyway, let's look at what we have here for the looks. This might give us some ideas. So, for a weapon, a giant sword, or blunt edges and fierce, there's the warrior or the edgelord look, or a staff of dark wood, worn smooth. So maybe a monk, a druid, or a wizard. A sturdy shield polished to a shine, so a cleric or a fighter of some kind. Twin jeweled daggers, well, you know that's got to be a rogue or an assassin. A bow that seems to hum when drawn, probably looking at a ranger there. Spiked gauntlets covered in dents. Ooh, ouch. Yep, someone who likes their fists to be used. Crossbow covered in unknown mechanisms, where you can artificer a rogue or something like that. A simple saber. A dirk with a curious carved hilt. Oh, there's your swashbuckler. An enormous hammer carved from bone, or a sword that whispers in its scabbard. Ooh, how many of them are in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's very hard to roll an 11. Because we could just do this ourselves. Couldn't we just roll for it? Armor. Oh, how do you have a mask for armor? That's really weird. Well-kept travelling cloak, a warm coat, armor crafted by a giant insect shell, a tattered royal tunic. Their quirk, eyes always watching, one hand hidden under a cloak, hair cut short with a knife, slow measured movements, a smile that doesn't reach your eyes, shoulders that tense at the sound of metal. Oof, that's a good one for the trauma. A preference for sitting in dark corners. Well, we know who that is from Lord of the Rings. Sleeping with one eye open. That's not good for your eye. Perfectly straight posture. Always muttering words of protection. And a gleaming smile. Roll a d12 with a reroll on a 12. Or I could roll 2 d6s and start from the number 2. Weapon. A sword that whispers in its scabbard. Okay. Where's the character sheet? Where is the character sheet? Sorry, everything's just gonna go black while I find the character sheet. Here we go. What do I need to fill in? So, that's the weapon. I guess I can just copy and paste that. Save me some time, hopefully. A sword that spits in its scabbard. Alright, I'll roll again for the 10. A warm coat for weapon? I mean for armor? And 7, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. Oof. Shoulders that tense at the sound to the sound of metal. Okay. So the sword that whispers, a warm coat. But I wonder what the sword says. Kind of makes him sound like a wanderer. But that doesn't really make... I guess that could kind of make sense. Maybe we were a freelance mercenary type wanderer or something like that. And we didn't actually have a party. We just went from place to place doing things. Maybe we were on the run. Yeah. That explains why we maybe just have one sidekick. So we've had a very active life, and we're looking to... This is one place where we're trying to settle down, having been on the run. Maybe we think it's safe to try and settle down. Ooh, JR says the sword sings drinking songs during full moons. Wow. That's epic. So, this is normally what I would think of for what I've just described as a dude, but I think we should kind of go against type and go for a not dude. What do you think? Like someone who ended up stealing the sword or something when they were in their teens, and they stole it from someone they shouldn't have, and they've been on the run since, and the sword has been, for the most part, their only companion. Yeah. And they're looking to settle down. Anyway, while we think about that, let's go back to the PDF. Jobs and experiences. When you create your character, pick an adventurer job and a town job. Pick 3 adventurer experiences, but no town experiences yet. Characters can have the same jobs or experiences. If some of the experiences in a job don't make sense for your character, create your own appropriate experiences or borrow from other jobs. That's just a bit of wall of text that made no sense to me. Because it's me. Your jobs represent roles or activities you took on as an adventurer, and what you do now in town. They're a bit like classes or playbooks you might find in other games. Your experiences are special skills, training, feats, knowledge, etc. you've accumulated from your time as an adventurer or living town. As you play minigames, you'll use your experiences to overcome obstacles. When you use an adventurer experience, cross it out. At the end of that minigame, you'll gain a town experience in exchange. Okay. When an experience is crossed out, it doesn't disappear. It served you well at one point. It might be hard to see yourself as someone that doesn't do that anymore, but you don't need it here. You can put it away for now. Briefly describe how you let go of that adventure experience and how your time in town helps you gain this town experience. Okay, so we can pick a adventure job and one town job, right? Does that sound right? JR says, apologies if I'm being random. Between tempering chocolate and the wolf watching DRDU in the background, my brain is, oh, that's fine, JR. This is also how my brain works when I'm creating things too. I'm all over the place. Paladin, wizard, fighter, rogue, druid, bard, ranger, or swashbuckler. I think we'll go rogue with what I've already explained, what we've already said for the character. Makes sense. Town jobs. Well, I don't get the town jobs part. Can anyone... When you create a character, pick an adventure job and a town job. Characters can have the same jobs as you. How does the town job come into it? Is that what they've been doing in town, or is that what they did before they become an adventurer? That's what I don't get. How that comes into it. Farmer, healer, chef, poet, merchant, crafter, scholar, lookout, apothecary, or hunter. I mean, what's close to a rogue would be a lookout, I guess. But lookout doesn't really sound like much. I mean, unless our rogue had some kind of secondary skill that they also did while they were on the road. Maybe they crafted things. Maybe they wrote poetry about how lonely they were. I don't know. I'm going to come back to that, but I will put in that they are a rogue. I guess I'm also confused about the town job thing, because it's like, aren't they a person who works in a tavern? Isn't that their town job? Okay. Look, it gives us extra things. Oh, did we pick 3 things from there, right? Or is it all of them? I'm so easily confused. Let's go back. When you create your character, pick an adventure. So pick 3 adventure experiences. Are they experiences? I guess they're experiences. They're more like skills, aren't they? Than experiences. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's the town jobs that still throw me off, because why would I have those? Anyway, okay. Okay, it says you can pick your own. These are expenses. JR says, is the town job what you did before adventuring, maybe? I don't know, because you gain the experiences of them later, so I guess it's transitioning you into a town job, but I'm like, but I'm gonna be a tavern keeper, right? Is that not a town job? Anyway, rogue, cat's grace, extraordinary agility, nimble fingers, no lock stays locked, no trap can catch you, lightfoot, undetected, adder's fangs, deadly poisons and their antidotes. Sixth sense, never be caught off guard. Well, totally sixth sense, because remember, we tense up our shoulders whenever we hear the sound of metal. So we're totally always on guard. I will go with that. Adventure experience. I'll just copy and paste again, I guess. Put in my character sheet. Act undetected, probably. Extraordinary agility. I think I might steal some ideas from the others, because we do have a whispering sword. Brute strength, move, nope. Endurance, nothing can stop you, nope. Legendary weapon, an artifact of immense power. Well, that kind of sounds like possibly what we've got. I'll put that in for now. And what else have we got in here? Paladin. Nope. Treat wounds, destroy the unholy, throw in. Nope. Definitely not a paladin. Bard. Card, magic, juggling, clubs, and other spectacles, devil's fingers, prodigious skill with an instrument. Ooh, alluring voice, the voice of an angel, golden words, convince anyone of anything, inspiration, power up your friends. Ranger, Deadeye, pinpoint accuracy, true north, unerring sense of direction, animal companion, a wild friend, tracking, follow any trail, camouflage, disappear into nature, maybe swashbuckler, duelist, master of the blade, in the rigging, climbing and acrobatic feats, sea legs, balance on any surface, barbed tongue, your words hit wherever they hurt, bravado, never falter. I don't know if any of them fit. Any of you guys? I mean, like you said, we can pick our own. These are suggestions. What do we got? We've got Sixth Sense, never caught off guard, legendary weapon, artifact of immense power. Do we want to be a master of the blade as a duelist? Or do we want something else? We think we're like a silent assassin. I'm just going to put in silent assassin. That's basically the, where did it go? Not in alphabetical order. This is very confusing. It's basically sort of like Lightfoot Act undetected. Okay. Let's go down and look at the town ones. Although it says not to pick any yet, this could preservation for a farmer, make food taste better and last longer. Weather vane predicts the weather for a few days in advance. Bounty your harvest a large and exquisite handler, caring for and communicating animals, home remedies, unconventional solutions. Healer, warm presence. You're comforting to be around. Safe haven. I could just put in like tavern keeper instead of one of these, couldn't I? Look at that for chef, clean cut, minced, diced, chop slice. See, this makes sense for working in a tavern, being a chef. A poet could be someone who, like, entertains in the tavern. Merchant, something. Crafter, acute manual dexterity for finesse, repair, fix anything, create beautiful things. Build strong structures. That could be helpful for, like, expanding the tavern. Oh, look, it's MacGyver, jury rigging. Invent your way out of a sticky situation. Well, it is MacGyver. Look at it, it's MacGyver. The scholar should just be called MacGyver. Well read, you know it, or you know where to learn it. That's MacGyver. He's very intelligent and educated. There's jury rigging, keen observation, something only you could see. MacGyver. Diffuse, handle something dangerous. MacGyver. Streamline, get it done faster. I guess MacGyver. Never have to work alone. That's interesting. I guess we could end up becoming a lookout. Having to been on our own for so long, we end up, not having to be alone. Keepsakes. Items, trinkets, and ephemera and other physical reminders of the relationships between your characters. There can be a wide range of things. Tickets to a show, a funky little clay guy you found at the market, a necklace made out of a shard of an old weapon, a cookbook you hunted down that you think your friend would really like, a dried flower, a basket that you pass back and forth filled with baked goods, a wooden spoon you carved. Some of the mini-games mention keepsakes directly, usually at the end. Most of them don't, and a few are indirect. If something comes up in a game and it feels right, write it down. Do I start with keepsakes? Ooh, look at that. It's an under-the-sea tavern. It's an under-the-sea tiki-type tavern. Anyway. Playing the game. I won't read that stuff. You guys can read it if you want later. Once you've created your tavern and characters, everyone starts with the first step minigame. Oh, we haven't created a plucky little sidekick character and given this one a name. Alright. That's so rogue, MacGyver. So we should call her, Mackenzie Guyver. Look. Bit scruffy. Windswept. Always windswept. And blinking eyes. Okay. Mackenzie Guyver. A rogue. Good at assassinating. I guess we should make... should we roll for the other dude? We should probably roll for the other dude, shouldn't we? Reroll again, because it's a warm coat. That's the same as before. This is not going too well for us. I keep rolling the same things. Okay. Alright. 1, 2, 3. I get that 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 11, 6, 5, 4, 3. No, I've added wrong. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Okay, so we've got black boots with not a speck of dust on them. Apparently that's armor. Should just be clothing. I accidentally typoed and I put in black booze. And a quirk. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't like that one. I don't know if I like any of them. I'm gonna pick one. I'm gonna pick a gleaming smile. So they're always happy, but they like to beat things. It's not that plucky. Side comic relief. Anyway, they need a name. And also a job. What job would they be? They could be a paladin. Or a fighter. Or a very weird bard. Maybe a ranger? I think we should go very weird bard. What do you guys reckon? That could be fun. So they're more like a grifter. Maybe a happy-go-lucky grifter that likes to beat things when things go wrong, when he gets called out on them. What do you reckon? Class bard. Experiences. Bag of tricks, card magic, juggling clubs and other spectacles, devil's fingers, prejudice skills from an instrument, alluring voice, the voice of an angel, golden words, convince anyone of anything, or inspiration, power up your friends. Okay, this could be where we could craft the character, because if they power up their friends, that makes them a little less murdery by beating things up with their gauntlets. But golden words could be helpful. Yeah. I think they are a trickster of some kind. Is that something we can steal from Rogue? No. Stop you. They probably have some endurance. Move unseen. Rogue could be a bit of a himbo paladin, I guess. We'll go with happy-go-lucky rogue that is not afraid to beat his way out of troubles. So bag of tricks sounds good. Definitely card magic. They could also do some sleight of handing, cheating card games. Juggling clubs. And other spectacles. Devil's fingers. Voice an angel. Convince anyone of anything. Power up your friends. I definitely want golden words in there. Anything. Do we want to power up your friends, or do we want them to have devil's fingers? Or, from the swashbuckler, your words hit where they hurt, barbed tongue. Any ideas, guys? Any preferences here? As we consider this? It would be good if we had someone who could balance on any surface, especially if we end up at sea, at sea. Disappear into nature, temperate wild friend. Do you want them to power up friends? Yeah, I think they just have a good luck. Can make friends anywhere. You were thinking sea legs too? Balance on any surface. Okay. Quite an acrobatic kind of bard, maybe. That would be in the rigging. Okay. So that's... we didn't pick a town job for him. What would a good town job be? Healer? No. Maybe they would be good as a chef, because they can pummel. I don't know. Poet? I mean, they've already got some performative skill. Crafter. Scholar, probably not a scholar. Doubtful that an apothecary. They'd be a hunter. I don't know, I'll leave that blank too. Tavern worker. Okay. Once you've created your tavern and characters, everyone starts with the first step minigame. The first step. Then take turns choosing other minigames to play and fight other players often, and come up with your own prompts or scenes if the listed examples don't feel quite right. After completing a minigame, write down any keepsakes and check if anyone wants to take a break. Otherwise, the next player chooses a minigame. Every 3 minigames, take a break and you return play wear and tear. Wear and tear. What time is it? I've been going for an hour. Every 3 minigames. Okay. And upgrade the tavern. The first step and in the rhythm of things minigames are only played as the first and the last minigames and cannot be chosen on your turn. Okay. And in the game, when every player has exchanged all of their adventure experiences for town experiences, playing in the rhythm of things minigame to conclude the story of your tavern. After the hard work of getting your tavern up and running, your adventurers could probably use some rest. All games come to an end, and hopefully you can walk away from Stewpot knowing your adventurers have settled down comfortably. Now, I've been given a third-party PDF of a couple of other mini games from, I think it's Malcolm Harborough. Not sure, we'll check. And I think there's at least 3 of them in there, including one that you can play instead of In the Rhythm of Things or after In the Rhythm of Things. So I might look at that, and we could include that in some of those in there as well later if we want. Oh, what is this thing? Look, you just sit there eating your food with your feet in the water and the fishes swimming around your feet and your tails. This is a reference for all the mini games that make up Stewpot with a short summary of each one. Each mini game also has suit symbols next to the title that indicates the type of gameplay involved. Okay. The bean games that are good intro picks for after the first step. So we want a bean early games. The tree looking leafy thing. Core mechanics and a unique structure. Pumpkin, mainly prompts. Freeform. And games that let you upgrade the tavern are pots. Okay. So the first one we'll do. It's not linked. That would have been nice. What were you doing before you decided to put down roots here, and what was the first thing you learned about how to live in town? And then these are all the other ones we can do afterwards. See, quite a few. Was the last one there. Time passes, rough edges are sanded down. Before you know it, life in town has become like breathing. Okay. Oh man, look at that hot pot. Jeebus. Num 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 num. Okay, so we've got the first step. What were you doing before you decided to stay in this town? What was the first thing you learned about life after adventuring? Everyone plays. Every character gains one town experience. Take turns describing a short scene that led to that experience. Other characters may be in your scene, but they won't gain the same experience. So example scenes. A town person you helped once welcomes you back. They become your mentor of sorts, passing on their skills. That could be good. You find a good spot in town to sit and observe. Day by day, you learn what it's like to live here. Possible for Mackenzie Guyver. You told yourself long ago that you'd go fishing once you were settled. A friend takes you to a quiet riverbank. This instance would be the lakeside, just outside of town. A merchant offers you a good price for some of your adventuring gear. The children in the town take a liking to you. They pester you for more stories. That could be something for, oh, we haven't named our little sidekick guy. If you guys could come up with a name for him. I also think he's little. So I think he's a little dude. I think a goblin or a gnome or a halfling or that kind of thing. A kobold even. What do you guys reckon? Little dude. We could just call him Little Dude. LD, short. But yeah, if you could pick if he's a gnome or a goblin or something like that. An early frost threatens to kill several fields of crops, and the whole town is roused before dawn to help save them. It's a lot more difficult than you thought. You befriend the local stray cats. Feeding them becomes part of your morning routine. Oh, that is so wholesome. The seeds you planted in a little box by the window have finally started to sprout. You have been practicing your cooking and finally feel confident enough to invite some friends over for dinner. I don't know if Mackenzie has any friends. At first you were just a patron, but you've somehow found yourself helping out at the local library or literary salon. Literary salon? Interesting. You've been doing some crafts as a hobby, woodworking, embroidery, knitting, weaving, pottery, etc., and you're presenting a friend with something that you made for the first time. You've been sharing all the tips and tricks you picked up, taking care of injuries on the road with people in the town. So there are other things that are relevant to the experiences that we've seen for the town folk. So, what were you doing before you decided to stay in this town? What's the first thing you learned about life after adventuring? Okay. I think that Mackenzie, you want to call him Twinky? Goblin? Twinky little goblin? Yeah, you can make him a Twinky little goblin if you want. Twinky little goblin. Do you want to call him Twinky? Or do you just want to call him Little Dude? Up to you guys. So I think Mackenzie was, she's getting a little bit older now. She's probably, I mean, when I say older, I mean she's been doing this since she was a teen, probably mid-teens. So she's been probably at it for at least a decade, and she's probably tried to settle down before, and it hasn't quite worked. So she's probably coming up to her early 30s or something, and this time something has just inside of her has said she needs to try and settle down. She's the furthest she's been away from wherever she stole this sword from, and she feels like she's at this black oak savannah town, town of Black Oak, I guess. And what is she doing? She's just been sitting there quietly. I think she spends some of her days just sitting by the side of the road, watching the kids as they play, watching the townsfolk as they go about their business. She's not quite sure what she's going to do. As far as she's concerned, her only skills are probably being sneaky and killing people. And even then, she's not even sure if that's her or if that's the sword. At this point, she doesn't even know if she's a person. She could just be. She just feels like an extension of the sword. But she can't give up the sword, because what is she then if the sword is gone? She's really nothing. That's how she's feeling at this point. The children might stop every so often and come by and talk to her. They might ask her questions, and she tries to put them off with her answers, but for some reason they find her mysterious and a curiosity, and they're trying to get more information out of her, because a woman that sits there wearing a warm coat and has this obviously ornate sword at her hip or by her side on the wherever she's sitting is really going to attract the attention of children. I mean, we've got to be honest here. I think at some point, the little old lady that runs the tavern, where I think she was probably, catches her attention and invites her inside. I think that the tavern is right at the very end of the town, right at the lakeside or at the bluff overlooking, because that's where the lighthouse was. It's just a small tavern, very simple. And she kind of strikes up a little bit of a hesitant conversation with her, and she spends most of her time either outside watching things, and then later in the afternoon, in the evening, she spends in the tavern down in the corner of the spot. And she's been doing this for a while, and I think that the little old lady's kind of taken her in and taken her under her wing. And before Kenzie's even realized it, she's got her doing chores or something, like maybe it's clearing a table, or she puts a broom in her hand and she finds herself sweeping the floor one day, or she's got her helping her behind the bar. Just kind of slowly, like the frog in the pot where the water slowly gets warmer and warmer and you don't realize it's creeping in. That you've sort of gotten to the point where you're now kind of running the tavern. I think that's how it happened for Kenzie. And the little old lady is spending less and less time in the tavern. I think that's how it's happened. Now, as for Twinky, how do we think Twinky has ended up here? I think this is probably one of the places on Twinky's list of places. He probably has a set tour kind of thing, where he goes from certain towns from one to the other. He might say that it's due to the weather. He moves on when the weather's no good kind of thing, but it's more a case of he ends up moving on when people have gotten sick of him, or he might have swindled one too many people and people are now starting to catch on. So he moves on to the next town and he goes on a little circuit. So by the time he gets back to a town he's already been to, they've kind of had enough time to forget about him, or new people have come in kind of thing. And so this is one of the ones on his circuit. So what is he doing when he ends up with a tavern? Do we think he's been cooking? Or do we think he has a hobby? kind of craft? Maybe he makes art by smashing things. Oh, maybe he makes mosaics, so he spends his time smashing things up. Someone's talked him into making art or something, and he said, yeah, I'll have a go at that, and he just smashed things up. And then he noticed the kids starting to put things back together again or something. Or do you think that he's like, if you want to, yeah, he probably is. Maybe he gives someone a black eye, and he says to him, oh, you want to put a steak on that, a cold steak, to relieve the swelling. And everyone he beats up, he tells them how they can take care of their injuries. And he's probably performing in the tavern, and he might have doing some juggling and a bit of card sharking, and he's probably seen MK and Z's whole thing with the little old lady and the whole transition. Might have been there for it, taking note of that. So, what might the keepsakes be? I don't know if there would be any keepsakes. I mean, in the case of NKNZ, she's got a tavern. She seems to have somehow inherited a tavern. I guess that we need a name for the little old lady. The little old lady. Tavern owner hands it over to Kinsey. What do you reckon? I don't know. What might Twinky have gotten out of this deal? I don't see a keepsake for Twinky. Do you? So does that mean I've accumulated a town experience taking care of a tavern? I'll put that in there just in case. Alright, what is next? So, there's a bit of back and forth here, isn't there? The beans. Something about the way the fire flickers lingers in your mind. So, hey, tear to your eye, fading, redeeming memory. What do you still carry from your old life? Shields and skillets. Enchantments are volatile things, especially when they sit unused for long periods of time. You have let go of your old equipment, or it's too late. Market day. You never would have guessed how many things you need just to keep tavern running. Probably market day. Homegrown. Something special about using ingredients grown nearby. Or sliced. Maybe supply routes are disrupted. Maybe you need a unique signature dish. They all lead to the same place. Cooking with monster parts. Okay, let's try sliced. Page 80. Alright, sliced. You can handle typical tavern food fine. You've got a very nice stew, great bread from a baker down the street, and plenty of ale. But sometimes supply routes get disrupted. Or maybe you just want to stand out from the rest of the taverns. Whatever the reason, you want to do one thing. Cook with monster parts. I think this is Twinky's idea. Anyone can play. One player is the cook. You'll determine the core ingredients of your dish by drawing 3 cards from a standard deck of playing cards. For each card drawn, roll 2 6-sided dice. Each die determines the size of the monster, wow, and its habitat. Then interpret the card drawn based on its suit and rank. The rest of the players describe the ingredients in detail and tell you a highlight of each ingredient or a difficulty that comes with cooking it. Your character is a competent cook. Just remember to mention how you get around an ingredient's difficulty, or you may be criticized for it by the end of the minigame by the tasters. So the size is tiny, small, person-sized, house-sized, giant, mountain-sized. Locale is underground, snowy region, underwater, forest, desert, plains. Well, obviously we have 2 locations around the town. and the tavern. We have underwater of the lake, and we have the savannah. So that'll be one of those two for the locale. Look at this artwork. Look at that. And we have to... Oh, look at that. Example highlights. Example difficulties. Okay. Tasters. Wow, this is many pages. Okay. Okay. So depending on what suit it is, will depend on the ingredients. The card number or whatever will be a feature of it. And then there are example highlights. If it's cooked appropriately, it is incredibly juicy and tender. It has the perfect amount of sweetness and doesn't overpower the dish. It has an interesting texture and provides variety to the dish. It is almost impossible to cook wrong. Wow, that'll be a good one. It is easy to add flavor to. It pairs very well with a lot of other types of ingredients. It's the perfect garnish, adding a lot of complexity. You can use it in multiple ways, even in the same dish. Example difficulties. It burns easily if not watched carefully. It dries out if overcooked. It will look terrible if not prepared properly. It is bitter if overcooked. It is very easy to overseason. It's time consuming to prepare. It's very delicate. Eating too much of it gives you that heavy feeling in your gut. The remaining players will play the first people to taste the dish. It could be a small group of regulars and adventurers or a big tasting event. Each taster has something they want from this dish. Come up with something to you or use the prompts. Something that reminds you of home, simple but well executed, a unique combination of flavors, a dish that is rich and satisfying but doesn't leave you feeling bloated afterwards. Something refreshing, preferably with lots of fresh fruits or vegetables. Well, that won't happen if it's dire sturgeon. A new twist on a classic dish. Name and describe the classic dish. A dish that really exemplifies ingredients to season. The spice. So are we cooking something to what the expectation of the tasters are? Is that what they're saying? Soup. Oh my god. Cooking the dish. Roll a number of dice equal to 4 plus your cuisine rating. Well, cuisine rating's already 1, so... roll a number of dice. So I gotta roll 5 dice? Wow. Place the dice on the following chart. Follow the prompts that correspond to the dice results on each category. 4 to 6. What? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So roll number of dice equals place the dice on the following chart. Follow the prompts that correspond. So the best of, I assume. I roll 5 dice. There's only 4 places to put them. The best of. After you've finished resolving the prompts, you can write down new NPCs that like the dish as regular patrons. If you make the dish a permanent part of your menu, come up with a name. How do your patrons react? Okay, so I'm making a dish based on the requests of the tasters, but using the ingredients that we pull out from the... Alright, so it might not be dire sturgeon. Right, okay. Okay. Whew, I need more D6s. I know I've got my somewhere. The question is where? Alright, here's another one. I got a D3, that doesn't count. I just need 2 more. I think they're all on the other desk. That's another one. Just tap on the wall for trogs. Oh no, it doesn't matter. I found one. Never mind. Nah, that's okay. I found one. I needed more D6, but I found it. Alright. So, is it M. Kinsey, or do we think it's Twinky who's doing the cooking? Or should we have them one each? Yeah, I think we should, they do one each, and whoever is the better one. I think that, I think Twinky's been shit-talking. Well, not to the patrons or anything. Well, I think that, Twinky's been, like, giving Mackenzie shit about, the food. Same food, same slop, same day, every day. Got to do something different. And Mackenzie's just gone like, I would like to see you do better. And Twinky's like, oh, have you dared me? Double kobold dared me. And so they're going to compete for who is going to make the best dish. And they've gotten the patrons involved. Okay, so 3 cards from a standard deck of playing cards. For each card, roll 2 dice. 2 6-sided dice. Each die determines the size. Okay. And it's habitat. I don't think we need to do that because we are limited to the... We'll not do size and locale because we are limited to the location around us. Unless someone has gone off adventuring and pulled up something. Oh, okay, we could probably buy some monster parts from... Yeah, we'll do that then, okay. 1, 2, 3 cards. 2d6. 1 and a 5. Tiny. Desert. Tiny desert creature. A tiny desert creature. Okay. It doesn't seem right, does it? We're in savannah. We could say it's a tiny savannah creature. It's kind of like a desert, right? And the ingredients they have to work with are diamonds. The seasonings are crushed minerals, rich fermented sauces, powdered spices, flavored oils, thickening agents, etc. Clubs, fungi, lichens, and molds, fragrant mushrooms, yes, bright green and orange slimes, dried lichen. Okay, I think that Twinky probably uses the fungi, lichens, and molds. Maybe slimes. And what's the other one? Spades. Spades are plants and plant-based products. Fresh berries, dried bark, juice made from this morning. Oh, starchy roots, crisp leaves, stalks, aromatic flowers, pulp, sweet sap, etc. Okay, and we also have seasonings. Alright, I would say that Mackenzie probably uses the stalks, juices, berries, leaves, that kind of thing. Yeah. And then we have features. Oh, I should use the feature for the card that it corresponded to, shouldn't it? So Twinky's got clubs. Natural camouflage. His ones have natural camouflage. A minor ancient? What the hell? Okay, so some kind of ancient monster that is tiny. A tiny ancient monster, okay. I'm gonna go with some kind of we'll say that they're either from the water or from the savannah. Tiny ancient creature. I guess I'll go with mollusks and have them accompanied by some a mollusk salad with aromatic flowers for Mackenzie. And actually, it's what the tasters want. This rain players will play the first group of tasting. It could be a small group of regulars and adventurers, or a big tasting event. Each taster has something they want from this dish. Come up with something to use the prompts. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Do I have a D10 on me? I have all the cards. I should have a D10. Do you guys think that Twinky's trying to sabotage MKNZ when she's making her dish of tiny mollusks, tiny ancient shellfish? Okay, well look, this is something refreshing, preferably with lots of fresh fruits or vegetables. See, look, McKenzie's doing really good with her mollusk salad, which has some berries and lots of leafy vegetables and some aromatic stuff in there. Twinky, on the other hand, a spicy dish that's has a good flavor profile. Twinky is coming up with what's he got? Fungi. Mushrooms, bright green, okay. Yeasts, bright green and orange slimes. Curry. You think he comes out with a curry? What kind of curry does he? Does he use the mollusks? No. What did he get? He got. Well, at least he didn't get rancid. Oh my god! I didn't see that was an option. Natural camouflage. Okay, so the chameleon like slime. I don't know. Chameleon like field sparrow curry. Yes, because the sparrow is probably very, very hard to see for the adventurers hunting them. Yes, he makes field sparrow curry. Or he could make it a pie. Curry pie. Because then, adventurers can eat it on the go. And it's also got fungi and slime gravy. And mollusk salad with berry vinaigrette and wild leaf salad. We'll go back to the highlights and the difficulties after we've rolled how well the dish is done. I'm going to roll first for McKenzie and then for Twinky. How's that sound? And then we'll go back and do the other things for it. Oh. Ooh. Okay. Is it in any order? Goal. You succeed. A taster gives you a compliment. Okay. Well, I got a 5, a 4, a 4, and a 2, and a 1. So I'll discard the 1. So I only need 4. So, what do I want to give up? The goal, the seasoning, the presentation, or the texture? I should roll a D4, shouldn't I, to see what one it fails on? Oh, it should be a D3, because you could still win the goal. I'll get my D3 dice out. Is my D3. 2. It does not win on presentation. Okay. That sounds fair, doesn't it? Alright, so the overall goal is we succeed. A taster gives you a compliment. We'll find out what that compliment is later. For the seasoning, we got a 5. Or what pleasant memory does the taste of the dish evoke? It evokes since it's a sea dish, it evokes a pleasant memory at the seaside. Back with when they were a child and their family would cook the mollusks on the fire, and it just that kind of the barbecue taste, that barbecue seafood taste takes them right back. Presentation, where we failed. A 1 to 2. This dish might taste great, but it looks pretty unappetizing. Taster describes what part of the dish grosses them out the most. I would say the mollusk. It looks like a slimy slug sitting on a lettuce. Is probably the best thing there. Hang on. 1, 2, 3. So is how it fails there. Oh, I did this wrong. So the goal is 5. Seasoning is 3 to 4. So this seems almost right, but it's missing a little something. What flavor do you want more of? Or what spice do you add as you're eating? Taste the answers. I think it'd be funny if they add more salt to well, a mollusk in the lake wouldn't be salty. Water. They water it down. They pick up the little mollusks and they water them down. I don't know. The presentation was right. And texture. Texture was a 4. The cook describes how one part of the dish was overcooked or overdone, but you caught it before the dish was ruined. I would say that MKNZ was in the middle of doing the leaves, washing the leaves when the plumbed water suddenly stopped, because it turns out Twinky had interfered with turned the water off at the mains. That was part of his attempt to sabotage MKNZ's entry. And while she was dealing with that, she realized that the mollusks were overcooking, boiling too much. That they were almost at the point where the texture of the mollusk was just a bit too much, and it would be a bit too leathery. But she managed to yoink the pot off the fire, and probably burnt Twinky in the process as revenge. Not that she knew it at the time, but it turned out to be karma. And yeah, all good. So she's blaming Twinky for anything bad here, but overall she's succeeded, and the taster gave a compliment. It reminded me of when I was a little kid, and it was when I was being fed about the barbecue of the sea fishes at the beach. And I know this is a mollusk from a lake, but it is just reminding me of that time. Very similar. Alright, let's roll for Twinky. Twinky got beta rolls. 1, 2, 3. Ah! I didn't roll this one. Yes, Twinky got beta rolls. God damn it, Twinky. Okay, what's his worst one going to be then? I should roll the D3. Oh, same one. Alright. Let's roll that again. It should be a different one, shouldn't it? 1. Okay. For Twinky. Twinky was making the fried sparrow curry. For seasoning. Oh no, Twinky, what did you forget? Or what did you put in too much of? What did Twinky fuck up in terms of the seasoning? I think he put in too much of the slime. I think he had too much slime gravy And the ratio of meat to gravy was totally off. And you know how you feel like, that's not enough meat. They've filled it up with gravy because, they're totally ripping me off and I'm barely getting any meat. That's what I think happened there. Then the presentation. However, the presentation was delicately balanced with a perfect colour palette. This dish could be displayed in a museum. A taster describes a place the dish reminds him of. Well, the thing is, the dish, it's a camouflaged field sparrow meat in pastry with we'll say an orange. No, we'll go green slime would oh yeah. Green slime would stand out more, wouldn't it? Oh, look at that. Wouldn't it? So, that could be something we could do. It's an interesting look. It reminds them of the slime fields back home. The taster used to came from afar as an adventurer, and had a slime was a slime farmer. And it just reminds them of looking out on the slime fields and seeing the little globs of green slime. And the texture is also good. The cook describes how one part of the dish was same one. Let's say when he was fucking around, Twinky was fucking around with trying to sabotage Mackenzie's entry, and he ended up getting burnt. The scalding hot water ended up on his dish, and insta-cooked the meat of the fried, parboiled, shall we say. No, it's kind of flash fried, the already cooked the field sparrow, and he was worried for a moment there that it might have overcooked it, but it turned out that he'd initially undercooked the field sparrow. So it was, even though he got burned in karma, he also got a boon here unknowingly from Mackenzie. So he got a 6. So Twinky ends up winning this this competition. And MKNZ grudgingly admits defeat, and that Twinky is the better creative chef using the monster parts. Although, all of them have tiny little bitey teeth, so that's what makes them monstrous. You have to remove the teeth of the mollusks and the field sparrows before you can, well, just debeak the field sparrows, I guess, before you cook them. I would say that Mackenzie, realizing that the tasters preferred this more creative dish made from monster parts, and that Twinky was correct that the food fare that Mackenzie was putting out was boring and a bit bland and a bit tired and old, and a change is needed. So maybe she appoints Twinky as the chef for the tavern, or at least she offers him a job. Do we think Twinky takes her up on that? I mean, she's not saying he can't work out front at times and do his card sharking and dealing, but she has at least acknowledged that she needs the help of someone who is skilled, and she cannot do everything like she had been barely managing to doing while she was adventuring on her own with her creepy whispering sword. What do you guys think? Ooh, what would be a keepsake? A chef's hat. we can give Twinky a chef's hat. A chef's hat that's almost as tall as he is. He insists on a very tall chef's hat. Keepsake. Very tall chef's hat. Almost as tall as he is. So he's trying to effectively double his height. Alrighty. So it's 2 done. We're almost coming up to the time I wanted to end. So should we try doing wear and tear now? And then come back next week and do another 3 to 6 games. Where is wear and tear? What number is wear and tear? Scrolly, scrolly, scrolly. What do you guys think? Where is wear and tear? Page 58. There's always something to fix, clean, or pay off. Set up. Anyone can play. As a group, decide what parts of the tavern need fixing and touching up. I think I'll need you guys to help me with this one. After playing this minigame, you may increase one of your tavern ratings by 1. Each player character describes what they're working on. Ask another player character to help. Describe how you combine one of your experiences with one of theirs to great effect. As you're working, you observe a town person or another player character. Describe what you learn from your observation. Oh, that could be handy. You're completely in your element. Describe how you use an experience to get the work done lightning fast. You come up with the perfect food or drink to give everyone some energy. I like that one. What is it and what's the secret ingredient? I think Twinky could do that one. You notice everyone flagging through a frustrating stretch of work. How do you lift everyone's spirits? Well, Twinky could do that one since he's a bard. Everyone loves your idea for a new addition to the tavern. They put you in charge, but you're doubting your own ability to lead. Who gives you encouragement and how? What part of the renovation requires everyone to pitch in all at once? You're struggling to make progress, but you know exactly which townsperson to ask for help. How did you know they would be good at this? It's time for a break, and you think it would do everyone a world of good if they let off a little steam. What activity? Cards, sparring, a ball game, a race, a funny face battle. Okay. Etc. Do you suggest everyone participate in, and how does it go? There was an accident and someone was hurt. Fortunately, it wasn't life-threatening, but they definitely need to be patched up. Who helps them? It's also another Twinkie one. You tell everyone you'll treat them to food after work is done, and at a well-loved spot in town. What is the place called, and what is everyone planning on ordering? JR says, someday if I am ever a podcaster in my own right, and you invite me to a stream, I'm going to show up as Twinkie the Goblin. Yeah, totes, dude, totes. I've got ideas for Twinkie, but I'm not sure about MKNZ, because I don't know if she's fully integrated enough yet to be a team player. But she might be able to ask for help. And she's good at observing, so maybe she's been observing someone in town and is using that to... Who could she be observing? To improve the... I would say she would do something like improving the building, either patching it up or attempting to... Would she attempt to make furniture? I think she's been watching the roofer in town. She spent a lot of time watching everyone go about their day-to-day in town before she was coerced into the tavern by the little old lady, who I've referred to as little old lady for her name. And she watched how he did the tiling. She watched how he also did thatching. He seemed to do all sorts of different kind of roofs. And so she had been watching him. Who is he? I think that his name was... I want to call him Jock. I don't know why. He's not a jock, but that's his name. Jock, the roofer. He was probably some kind of half-orc. very skinny half-orc. Skinny and old half-orc. Because he needs to be... If he's too big, he will fall through those roofs. But on the other hand, you know those roofs are sturdy if a half-orc has been on them. So anyway, she's been watching Jock, as he's been deftly moving around those roofs, thatching and tiling and replacing and pulling out rot and all that as needed. So, I think she takes a look at what needs doing on the tavern for the roof, and also at the slightly crumbled lighthouse. I think she decides to put a roof on the lighthouse because it hasn't had one for a wee while. And if by putting a roof on the lighthouse we can extend the tavern, maybe we can put more beds in or some more suites, so a slight upgrade to the level of the bedding and the rooms and accommodation there. I think that's what she does. That's if we decide to put the point in that. And I think Twinky has come up with the perfect food, or rather the perfect drink, to give everyone some energy. And I think he's managed to use a what's the word? An old goblin recipe from his memoir, that has been passed down to him. It's a proprietary drink. No one else knows what is in it, but the audience will know that it is a combination of slimes, diluted down with water, that helps give everyone tingles a little bit, but it just it gets the adrenaline running and everything, and helps give you that bit more energy. It's on the borderline of, the small amount of poison won't kill you and can actually be beneficial kind of thing. I think he does that. So now that we're in here. Okay, what are we adding? We increase one of our tavern ratings by 1. So, Boozer's Light, our tavern ratings. The cuisine, we can't update that one. It would have been cool if we had during the previous mini game, but we can upgrade the atmosphere, I guess. From a little plain but homey, not a bad place to get a good night's sleep. So if we add in some nice beds, extra maybe we weren't really a tavern. Taverns are the places where you would get the foods. Inns are where there are places to sleep. So maybe we've expanded into the lighthouse for an inn. So we're now a tavern and inn. I think that's good. Yeah. What do you guys reckon? We also need to make up our only other employee. We haven't got him in there. That would probably be good, right? So we got little old lady, we got Jock, and we need like a cheap person, or either a retired someone, or a former an injured guard or something, or a young person, young farmhand or something, to either bust the tables or work behind the bar, or maybe bounce the door. Although I'm pretty sure Mackenzie can do the bouncing if she needs to, right? What do you guys reckon? I'm gonna go with, maybe we found this random dude with amnesia. Scruffy dude with amnesia. Everyone assumed was a drunk. We'll call him Guy. No. I want to call him Carter for some reason. I don't know why. Employee. Yeah, so some random dude, possibly young to middle age, that we just found, and no doubt he will cause us trouble later in the future. Anyway, I think we should add it there because my laptop now wants to be charged. Thank you everyone for joining me. I hope you guys enjoyed playing along, and thank you so much for giving me suggestions and being here with me today. I'll see you guys later. Thank you. Bye-bye.